Good evening everyone and welcome to another Mech Merlin stream. Today is our unboxing stream. So welcome everyone. So yeah, tonight, as you guys can see from the stream title down below, we are unboxing a few switches and a key set. I only got one package this week and it's all from Canon Keys. As many of you know, Canon Keys is actually one of my many sponsors on this channel. So if you guys like to support what I'm doing here, definitely check them out. I provided a link in the chat below. So yeah, let's talk about some of the things that they've sent me. So yeah, the first item that they sent me was their Gateron X linear switches, which is very interesting. For $34.30, you can get a pack of 70 and some quick specs on it. Top housing is nylon blend, bottom is nylon, stem material is palm, comes with 65G bottom out. So this is interesting because if you guys remember, a few months ago I did get a pack of Gateron X switches, which looked black. In fact, I couldn't really tell a difference between that and, you know, a typical Gateron yellow switch. So yeah, let's just open these up and see how these are. My initial take of the Gateron X switches was that, you know, they did feel a tiny bit smoother than the regular Gateron switch, but I didn't think it was worth writing home about, you know. So some people in chat even responded that that it seemed like it sounded better, but I couldn't really hear it myself. So yeah, here we go, check it out. New switches, Gateron X. Yep, spring ping is very audible. Not sure if you guys can hear it if I put it next to the mic. Hopefully you guys can hear that spring ping. And it is not just with one switch, it's pretty much with all of them. Yeah, in terms of smoothness, no, it's yeah, wouldn't be the smoothest switch I've tried, but definitely consistent with lots of Gateron switches these days. Spring weight definitely around the Gateron yellow, so not such a bad deal there. In terms of sound, I'd say because of the milky top, it kind of makes it a little deeper sounding than the regular Gateron switch. So I like that. If only they wouldn't have such spring ping, because this is pretty bad. If you had like a dense metal plate or something, like even with aluminum, you could probably hear a spring ping that is this loud. But yeah, lube these switches for sure. I do like the color though. Do like the color. I'm glad they changed it out from the regular black, so this way you can very visually notice which one's a Gateron X and which one is not. Stem wobble is going to be hard to notice just on a single switch like this. I'd have to like put it on something else, put it on an actual keyboard, but the first ones I tested had pretty consistent stem wobble with other Gateron switches. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but there's some stem wobble there. You can also see some top housing wobble. Nonetheless, pretty consistent with what I know of regular Gateron switches, so I think the only difference between these and what most people are used to is that they're smoother, slightly smoother, and maybe sound a little bit better. But as long as you lube your switches, I think you will definitely exceed the quality of these. There are definitely better stock switches, better being smoother stock switches than these. The next switch that they sent me is something that I was really interested in, so I was very thankful for Canon Keys to send this to me. But what they sent were Aquamarine V2 linear switches. The reason why I was really like these switches is because of the color. So yeah, definitely more expensive than the Gateron X linear switch. These are for a pack of 70, it's $46.20. Top housing is nylon and the bottom housing is polyamide. And the stem material is P3. These are once again forms of plastic that you don't really hear too much about. The spring weight is also 65G bottom out, similar to the Gateron X. And check that out, some moderate factory lubing. Right here, they also sent me a pack of 70. Like, I really like this color a lot. So I'm hoping that these sound good. and that they don't have audible spring ping like the Gateron X's. Right, let's see. How do these fare? Wow, yeah, I really like that color. Looks so beautiful. Let's see, smoothness. Yep, I can feel that lube. That is smoother than the Gateron X's for sure. Let's see, how does that sound in terms of... Very similar sound, I'd say. All right, can I hear some spring ping? No spring ping. Yes, that is what I like to hear. No spring ping. No leaf crunch either. Let's see if I can hear anything else in. All right, that's pretty consistent. No spring ping or crunchy leaves, so that's good. That's really good. I did notice, however, that some of the lubing, it's not completely consistent. This one feels a little lightly less lubed than the others. But other than that, it feels pretty good. What switches are these? These are the Mechanisk Aquamarine V2 linear switch. Comes with a, well, these are Durock made switches, nylon top, polyamide bottom, and P3 stem. Feels good and sounds good. Beautiful switches. I don't have too many blue boards or blue boards that would match this. Not that you really have to match switches, right? Just because once you put keycaps on, it doesn't matter. Yeah, these feel good. Let's see, can I feel any stem wobble? Okay, these have noticeably less stem wobble than the Gateron linears, which, you know, Gateron linears, the Gateron X linears tend to be very similar to regular Gaterons. Yeah, these are nice. How are they stocked? Do they have factory lube? Yes, they have factory lube. Do they still need to be modded? That is completely up to you. If you think the factory lube is not sufficient, you're welcome to add more or try and remove as much as you can. But I think this is fairly decent for a, you know, stock switch. Stock switch for 46 bucks for a pack of 70. So yeah, looks good, feels good. Would definitely use these stock. But then again, my only experience with them is single switch pressing, right? Wait till I put it on an actual board. So these next two switches that they sent me are actually not on their website yet. So I cannot provide a link. So these are heartbeat switches and whisper switches. Boba says, I love the names. I love them too. Let's see, ooh, okay. So these guys have that IP6065 rated top, like the box switch tops. Very interesting. See, these are made by, I see W and H. I don't know what that manufacturer is. When I first saw the W, I thought Wutre, but not heard of W and H quite yet. This is a 5-pin switch with a very large cutout for in-switch lighting. It is red on top and bottom. I will have to say that the top is more transparent, whereas the bottom red is very opaque. This is a linear switch. What else? Let's see, it feels really light to me. I'd say this is closer to maybe, let's see, both of the previous switches were 65. These are probably 62 or 60. ARM says linear or tactile. These are linear switches. If any of you guys have GMK Darling or anything that looks like GMK Darling, this would be a perfect color match. Looks pretty good. Let's see. All right, how does it feel? It almost feels like it's over lubed, to be honest with you guys. I feel a lot of lube in that one. This one seems a little better. Interesting. Yeah, it feels kind of sluggish when I press it down. Then some of them don't even feel sluggish at all. That's interesting. Here, let's see if I can hear anything inside. Oh yeah, that feels overlubed. At least I don't hear any spring ping. Let's see, let's try and open it up. See how it looks inside. FitLabs has nice looking switch, agree with you on that. Let's see, what pairing do you think tactile linear switches work well with in terms of the type of plate used? It also depends on the mounting and the size of the board, really. You know, it's not just a matter of material. Okay. I don't have my thing on me today. Let's see, I swear these feel lubed, but let's see if I can find any evidence of lube. Yep, these are lubed. These are lubed. Some of them very inconsistently, that's what I have to say. And the strange thing is, like yeah, I guess this one's not that bad, but something like this, I can hear some scratch, and it feels scratchy too. So the lubing doesn't seem very consistent, unfortunately. Yeah, here, this one's probably like the worst offender. That feels like it has no lube. What the heck? Oh, okay, yeah. I can even hear spring ping in this. Whereas like the other ones seemed fine, so I guess you just have to cherry pick them, huh? Tataimo says hello there. Hello to you as well. Thanks for joining in. Great, this one has spring ping as well. Inconsistently lubed. That's distressing, I'd say. Now that one feels over lubed. What in the world? Okay, yeah, I think like the inconsistent lube is completely throwing me off on these guys. Like, they're beautiful switches, but I don't like how these are lubed. It's like ruining the experience for me. And that's even with me just pressing on one single switch. Alright, let's try the next pair of switches. I know what these switches are now. These are called HIMU switches. That's right, it's H&M, that's what it is. And it's from switchoddities.com. Well, these are all from Canon Keys, but this is just an article about HIMU. Alright, let's try the whisper switches. Whisper switches. So I'm assuming whisper means that they're silent? Maybe? Not sure. Okay, basically the same structure. It's the same box stem of sorts. It has a lighter top, darker blue bottom. Both sides of the housing are not transparent at all. See, 5-pin, large opening for in-switch LEDs. These are tactile switches, and the bump, I'd say, it's not that big. They feel very much like, oh gosh, they're definitely not browns, and they're not holy pandas. Oh gosh, what's another tactile switch that I read? Oh, it's not even as tactile as Boba's, I'd say. But once again, similar to the heartbeat, I'm noticing that the lube is not consistent even with these two. Yeah, this one feels more lube than this, and this sucks because if I can feel their inconsistency while I'm doing this, I'm most likely gonna feel it when it's actually on a board. So that's unnerving. Let's try a bigger sample size. Yeah, even these two are different. What the heck? Okay, that one's a little better. Okay, these three seem to be fairly good, but all four of these are like different. And in some cases, like this one, the one that doesn't feel like they're lubed at all, I can definitely hear that spring ping. So very inconsistent. Very inconsistent lubing. I think I would have preferred if these switches didn't even have any lube. Not as bad as the heartbeat ones, but I'm still a little bit unnerved by how inconsistent they feel. Ah, that's bad. Okay, these actually feel really good. There we go. Okay. Alright, yeah, so these are the whisper switches on Canon keys. Unfortunately, I don't have a link for you guys to peruse, simply because they are soon to be released. But yeah, I'd say out of the 4 switches that I've unboxed tonight, once again, let's squeeze that air out. Like I said, I don't have a screen to show you guys because there's no information on them. So the question is, I don't know. I mean, so the answer is I don't know. But yeah, the 4 switches I showed off tonight were Gateron X linears, followed by V2 Aquamarines, followed by the heartbeat switches, and then these guys, the tactile whisper switches. So three linears and 1 tactile right here. So yeah, I'd say my favorite, but out of the 4, definitely the Aquamarines. These probably had, you know, the best sound, best being my preference and feel. So definitely Aquamarines. Between the 2 new switches that I'd never heard of before, you know, I normally like linear, but these guys are so inconsistently lubed that I'd pick this one, the tactile, the silent tactiles. So yeah, heartbeat, not confident at all. And plus, it's also like, it seemed like it was a lighter weight. I tend to prefer switches that are 65, 67, and 70. So these feel like they're 60s, so even if I got them to be really smooth, I might not even go for them. And then of course there's the regular Gateron X linears, which, you know, they're not bad. They're just regular Gateron switches. Once you lube them up and everything, they'll be fine. Next up is a key set, also from Canon Keys. No actual Canon Keys page to link to you guys yet, but they did post it on their Instagram. So yeah, hold on, let me just find it. Here we go. On their Instagram right here, this is NicePBT Morse code. So as you can see, instead of the regular alphanumeric legends, well, I guess it does have numeric legends, but all it does have is Morse code. Of course, you still have your greater than and less than sign, your semicolons, and your close and open brackets, and all of the mods are still appropriately labeled. NicePBT tends to be on the cheaper side of things on the Canon Keys website. Like, I noticed prices range from like 50 to 80 bucks. Their own brand, the Canon Caps brand, tends to be a little bit more pricey, but not by much, but also gives you better quality, in my opinion. See, I've been very impressed by their Dark 9009. There we go. Morse code. Ta-da! Oh look, even the function row has Morse code on it. Okay. And I noticed that the packaging is different. They've upgraded their NicePBT packaging. Nice. Okay, this seems a lot more reliable. Got so many NicePBT sets here, which is like you just shake it up a bit and you pull it out, it's already like scattered. So this is an improvement in their packaging. This is very nice. Alright. But I'm not sure if there's an improvement in their molds. That's the bigger question, right? Of course, you can't really tell the difference for Morse code stuff. Alright, this is reverse die sub. Reverse die sub, which is probably why the legends look a little fuzzy. Yeah, tab legends are fuzzy. Let's see, let's read some text here. That's actually not too bad. Not too bad for the Super. Let's see, Alt. Yeah, it's honestly not that bad. Like you can tell that it's fuzzy, but it's fine. Cool. Let's see. What other... Okay, good. There's numpad. No. The numpad actually has the numbers in Morse code. Which I think is weird, because like, look. The numbers here have Morse code. I think I would have preferred, like, design-wise, that these would be Morse code as well. Oh, I just noticed something. Like, the reverse die sub on the dark modifiers are fine. They're, like, passable. But this key right here, I think this is regular die sub. The regular die sub on this looks fuzzier than the reverse die sub for some reason, which is very odd because it's supposed to be like the other way around, right? The reverse die sub is supposed to be fuzzy, not the regular die sub. Let's see, what's this bottom one right here? Ooh, space bars. Let's see how warped these are, if any. Let's go with this long guy right here. Well, NicePBT, at least the ones that I have, were all warped to some degree, fairly consistent with lots of other PBT sets, so I'm not too worried. Yeah, what do you know? This guy does. This guy has almost 0 warp. Wow. Probably one of the first 7U PBT spacebars that I've seen with very little warp. Very nice. I like it. I will have to say that this is probably one of my first fully reverse die sub sets. While it looks good, there are some aspects of it that annoy me, such as the fuzzy legends. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. Like I anticipate this set being possibly like, because they had to reverse die sub it, so it's got to be like $80, I would imagine. Though my main question here is, as you guys can see, like the color scheme is very GMK Carbon, right? With the darker mods, orange and beigeish alpha. But then when you look at this, when you look at the box, it seems to imply that it's more of a white colored set. So I was very surprised when I saw this on Instagram. I was like, wait, that's not what I was expecting it to look like. Small parts, not suitable for children under 3 years of age. That's funny because I know a lot of people who have kids who they let their kids play with their keycaps sometime. Go. PBT die sub keycaps. Yep, that is indeed what they are. Cool. Alright, I did say I was going to test out the keycaps. Since we're all talking about Canon keys and stuff, let's use the board that was on Canon keys and also 9009 dark. We are going to test out some of these switches. So this guy is using, oh yeah, these are the Mint linears. Mint linears, which I actually really like. They're a all palm housing, palm top and bottom housing, and I think the stem is, it's not palm, it's something. I don't remember. But here we go. Let's just try these out. Here are the Mint linears. These are the Aquamarines. Definitely a more subdued sound. I'm not quite sure if that's something that I would like, to be honest. Here, let's try out another one. We're just gonna try out the 2 switches that I singled out as the ones I really like. Woo. Come on, come out. Whew. I forgot this FR4 plate was really tight. The other switch that I really liked was this guy, the Whisper switches. You guys can hear how silent they are. Whisper switches are tactile. That's all I can really say right now, and they are also, who makes them? HiMu switches. Right. Oh, I like that sound a lot. Okay. Doesn't sound as silent as I thought it would be. Yeah, that's not silent at all. That actually sounds really good. Yeah, maybe I was being deceived by the bump. Aquamarines are from Gat. No, Aquamarines are from Durock. So I guess that's what, JWK. Okay, I really like these Whisper switches. They sound pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna change one more switch. This is going to be the heartbeat switches. So keep in mind, once again, I'm not doing a very scientific switch here. The correct way to do these would be to populate an entire board with them. But in the interest of time and me not really wanting to take apart an entire board, we will just be swapping out select switches. But you will definitely see these in a future build. What that future build will be, right now I have no clue. But here we go. Once again, these are the mint linears. And here are the heartbeat switches from HiMu. Yeah, I do not like that sound at all. I do not like that sound. Okay. I'm gonna say from my limited testing, the heartbeat switches are not in my boathouse. Not something I'm very interested in. And I'm going to maintain that based on what I picked out on single switch testing, turns out I greatly prefer the Aquamarines and the Whisper switches. So very excited about those two. All right. Yeah, maybe the next build I'll do it with Aquamarines, especially if my next build, if my next personal build or next vendor build happens to be a blue board, then I will definitely use the Aquamarines. Whisper Unlude will be more interesting. Yeah, I would agree with that. Like I said, these some HiMu switches. This guy has such inconsistent lubing. This one also had inconsistent lubing, but it wasn't as bad as the heartbeat switches. Well, you know, if I can lube them myself, it'll definitely be better. Other than that, those are the items that I received in the mail this week. Once again, those were 4 switches from Canon Keys, the Aquamarines, the Whisper switches, the heartbeat switches, and the Gateron X linears, and also NicePBT Morse code. All of them pretty decent. Morse code, like I said earlier, I'm I like the colors, but I'm not too sold on the legends. But you know, if you like the colors and if you like GMK Carbon, this might be the set for you. In terms of the 4 switches that I unboxed today, my favorites were definitely the Whisper switches and the Aquamarines. But yeah, thanks guys for joining in. I like to keep my unboxing streams short, so I think we are just under an hour today, so that's good. My next stream will be this Saturday. I'll be rebuilding another one of my personal boards, so tune in this Saturday about 2 p.m. Alright guys, thanks for joining in, and I will see you when I see you. Goodbye everyone.